Welcome to this edition of Rock 11 Now Weekly. We begin with a call for all Rockville 4th graders who want a chance to be mayor for a day. Why not enter the If I Were Mayor essay contest? The contest is organized by the Maryland Municipal League, or MML, and the Maryland Mayors Association. This year's theme, Live to Lead.
I think what President Ramanel is hoping is that students will take the words live to lead and lead by example. Come out with the best ideas, work with the rest of their classmates, and really put their school or their community on the map with something great.
Rockville's Mayor and Council considered this contest a great exercise in government studies. One winning essay will be chosen from each of MML's 11 regional districts throughout the state. In addition to the winners, their parents, and their teachers attending a special award ceremony in Annapolis, a Rockville student will get a chance to serve as the city's mayor for a day.
You'll be really able to see how we do things in the city of Rockville by participating in the ride-along and going to Croydon Creek, helping us run the meeting on Monday night. You actually participate in making our government work.
So 4th graders, get into it and write your essay. All essays must be received by Friday, March 30th.
There's so many opportunities, but the biggest, most important thing is it means that you get to read your essay on Channel 11 in the city in front of everybody. And what an opportunity. So do your best work. Make it something that you're really proud of.
Learn more about the If I Were Mayor contest by heading to MML's website at mdmunicipal.org and click on the MML Spotlight section. Or call the Rockville City Clerk, Director of Council Operations Office at 240-314-8280. March 4th is Rockville Day at the Kid Museum at 6400 Democracy Boulevard in Bethesda. Rockville residents and students will get half off of general admission. Enjoy workshops in 3D design, robotics, and coding, floor activities, and much more. So bring the whole family on March 4th for Rockville Day at Kid Museum from 10 a.m. until 5. Rockville 11 celebrates Black History Month with this Black History fact. Did you know, before Rosa Parks was arrested for refusing to give up her bus seat to a white passenger, there was a young teenager who had already made the same bold move in Montgomery, Alabama? According to Biography.com, Claudette Colvin, a 15-year-old schoolgirl, refused to give up her seat to a white passenger on March 2, 1955. Just 9 months before Rosa Parks' famous protest. On that day, this A student was riding the bus home after school when the driver asked her to give up her seat. Colvin stood her ground and did not move, telling the driver that it was her constitutional right to sit in her seat because she paid her fare just like other passengers. She was eventually arrested and became one of 4 plaintiffs in the Broader versus Gale case, which eventually ruled that Montgomery, Alabama's segregated bus system was unconstitutional. Lincoln Park is one of the oldest African American communities in Montgomery County, dating back to the 1850s. It was one of the first real estate ventures in Montgomery County intended for sale to Black people. Since then, Lincoln Park has evolved into one of the most diverse neighborhoods in Rockville. One of the many reasons why Lincoln Park's legacy of diversity continues to thrive is community leader and lifelong resident Fran Hawkins.
As far back as I can remember, I would say around the 1920s, but some of my great-great-grandparents went back further than that. Up on the cemetery, Polly Wood was my great-great-grandmother, and she was born in 1854, and she died in 1920.
She remembers when Horner's Lane had houses, and when industry came to build businesses and bought her family's home, they didn't resist the change. Instead, they took that money and moved to another part of Lincoln Park.
back in the late 60s, my mother wanted to build a house right on the street, on the property that she owned across the street, but the zoning was changed, and she didn't know it. And when she went to build a house, she couldn't. So her lawyer advised her that the land was far more valuable now, being industrial than residential, and she took the money and moved up the street. Yeah, that's what she did. And that house is still there. It is still occupied by her granddaughter.
Fran and her sister Wilma Shelton Bell are both iconic figures in this neighborhood. Back in 2015, Lincoln Terrace Park was renamed Wilma Shelton Bell Park to honor her sister's legacy as a leader in the community. And Fran's work with the community continues today. She served as the president of the Lincoln Park Civic Association for 15 years and still remains a very active part of the association.
Well, the Civic Association addresses concerns that comes up in the community, and we're just trying to hold on to the community the best we can, because this is what we love, this is what we know.
Fran's love for this community has stood the test of time, welcoming new families with open arms.
I got the best neighbors in the world, the best neighbors in the world, and I love all of them, and I hope they love me.
Fran Hawkins, community leader, will continue to mentor and make sure that the saying, neighbors helping neighbors, will always be the driving force of the legacy of Lincoln Park.
Everybody knew everybody. I love Lincoln Park, and I'll never move.
That's going to do it for this edition of Rock 11 Now Weekly. Remember, you can check out the latest happenings on our online newsletter at rockvillereports.com. And join in on the conversation and check out our posts by signing up for Nextdoor at nextdoor.com. And keep up with Rockville 11 by subscribing to our City of Rockville YouTube channel. And you can follow us on Twitter at Rockville 11, on Instagram at Rockville MD, and like us on Facebook. For the entire Rock 11 Now Weekly team, I'm Kathy Dantzler. Until next week, Rockville,